Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a temple courtyard at dawn. A thin ribbon of bell tone hangs in the cool air. A low chanting ground hum rolls like distant surf, and beyond the trees, a roneat reed line threads a melody that feels older than any single person. What story would you say that soundscape tells?
That's a beautiful image to begin with, and already the question is alive. History isn't only written, it's heard. The layers matter. Bells mark time, chants hold liturgy, and those reed tones keep memory in motion. Listen closely, and those sounds explain how communities make continuity out of change.
Right. Welcome to Ancient Echoes. I'm Samnang, and with me is Rachana. Today, we're not just talking about Cambodia's temples and music. We're asking how sound itself becomes part of cultural memory, how a village lullaby or a marketplace call can hold a family's history.
We should say at the start, this is a guided listening. We'll describe archival clips and field moments so you can hear them with us, and we'll point you to recordings in our show notes, including material in the Bofana Audiovisual Resource Center and Samnang's YouTube playlist if you want the authentic field audio. The aim is respectful curiosity, never extraction.
Good. So let me start with a question I keep coming back to. Why do temple bells and gongs sound the way they do inside those stone walls?
Because the buildings are part of the instrument. Architecture shapes resonance, and that changes how chant behaves in space. At Bayon, for instance, carved galleries and compact courtyards focus low-frequency warmth, so a chant's base blooms differently than in Angkor Wat's open outer galleries. Those differences aren't just acoustic trivia. They shape ritual feeling.
I love that image. Buildings as instruments. And people design songs and rites to live inside those acoustics. A bell struck in a long corridor becomes a halo that tells everyone, pause, gather, attend.
There's a neat practical detail visitors often miss. Different instruments occupy different sonic niches. The pinpeat ensemble, xylophones, drums, oboes, is bright and processionary, meant to travel along temple avenues. Mahori tends toward intimacy, softer strings and lyric lines for courts and close gatherings.
And if we unpack terms, the roneat is a xylophone-like instrument with wooden or bamboo slats struck by mallets. The chapet is a plucked lute used by traveling storytellers. These aren't mere ornaments. They structure ceremonies, mark seasons, and often signal social roles within a community. The research tells us these sonic roles are deeply embedded.
I want to pause because there's a common misread, calling a busy market noise as if it lacks meaning. No, that grammar of sound is functional and musical in its own right. A vendor's call times bargaining. A cartwheel squeak signals arrival. A boat's thump marks departure. Together, they create a rhythm of exchange.
I'm not sure I buy calling market sound musical outright. Not because it's unimportant, but because we risk romanticizing labor and erasing the work behind the sound. We should name function and hardship as well as pattern.
No, that's not my point. I'm not romanticizing the labor. I'm trying to show the system behind the noise, the rhythms that coordinate activity, the cues people learn to read. There can be hardship and structure at the same time. Sound does both.
Yes, and that tension matters. When we keep both in view, we see sound as social technology. It organizes, it comforts, it demands. The elders taught us to name those layers rather than flatten them.
Okay, quick listening exercise. Picture a small riverside village at dawn. First, the slap of an oar.
Two women call names across the water. A child recites the alphabet in a sing-song cadence, and a thin gong marks the neighborhood blessing. Layered and textured, those cues tell you who is present and when their day begins. Each sound has a social grammar.
For listeners who want to practice hearing that grammar, slow down. Put your phone away for a period and note repeating patterns. Is there a bell every hour? a vendor call at sunrise? That habit turns noise into narrative. The tradition teaches us to listen with patience.
On preservation, field recordings are powerful, but they require consent and care. If you're documenting, share copies with local custodians, credit performers, and include context. Who sang this, where, and why? That makes archives ethical and useful over time.
And use careful language. Labeling a chant exotic or primitive erases meaning. Describe what you hear, melodic contour, repetition, call and response, and ask about significance. The scholarly insight reveals that words and sound are entangled. Careful description respects both.
A practical question we get: how can diaspora communities reconnect through sound? Start with memory. Old cassette tapes, family recordings, recipe rhythms, even kitchen songs. Digitize what you can, attach context, and share copies with family or community archives. Tag posts with community-honored names and permissions.
And about authenticity. That's a tricky word. Authenticity isn't a fixed stamp. Sounds shift with time and place. Both continuity and change tell the story. The cultural significance is that heritage remains living precisely because it adapts.
There we go. A little disagreement that opens a better question. Adaptation doesn't mean loss alone. It can mean survival and new meaning. The elders taught us adaptability, and sound is one of the clearest carriers of that lesson.
Exactly. Try a small project. Collect one short clip, describe it, and ask what changed and what stayed. Those questions open productive conversations with custodians and performers, and they produce richer archives.
Before we close, a quick guide. If you want field audio, look for materials at the Bafana Audio-Visual Resource Center and in our linked show notes. Check my YouTube channel for field clips and playlists that match today's topics. And when you post your own recordings, use hashtag #AncientEchoesSound so communities can find and curate them. Include dates, locations, and permission status.
To summarize, sounds, from temple bells to lullabies to market rhythms, are mnemonic devices. They hold time, social roles, and emotional life. The deeper story is that careful listening preserves intangible heritage and honors those who live these sounds every day.
Thank you for spending this time with us. If this episode resonated, please follow Ancient Echoes on your favorite podcast app. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for visual field clips and share your own sound memories using hashtag #AncientEchoesSound. Tag us and include context so communities can preserve and curate recordings ethically. The echoes of the past live on in people's voices, memories, and everyday lives. Thank you for listening and for making space for these stories. Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
In the quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree. I called upon spirits, asked them to guide, to take her heart and lead her by my side. So I drew her near, traced her brow so fair, on my sight this way. Sacred power, Swahai, mighty spirit awakened. By the master's right, let her heart be gently taken. Let her follow me now by vow and by sign. I hear these words, oh teacher, witness this plea. Oh, my sacred power, Swahai.